Hello, my friends. Or as my people say, because one time I heard someone in my family say something that around our name might be French. Hello, mine frères. Is that French?
I don't know. I don't speak French. Bonjour.
This is Dan and Margie from the Gen-Xers, and if we got a treat for you, I mean a tweet,
Oh, good one. That was a good one.
we're going to look at 10 tweets, viral tweets, they say.
We don't know. We don't see viral things.
Hon, if you had to guess, how many tweets does it take to be viral?
I'd say over 8 for sure.
So these were tweeted at least 8 times.
With likes. Which, by the way, hit like and subscribe for us, would you?
Thank you. You heard the lady.
Would you?
We're going to look at tweets by, for, and about Gen Xers and deduce the truthiness of each.
Okay.
Just for you.
Okay. I've often wondered what Gen Xers are like. And then I remembered that I am one.
And then I remembered it's time for a nap.
Right?
Ooh, hee.
So this first one, I have no idea what this means. I put a big question mark.
If you're wondering why Generation X is the way it is, it's because millennial Gen Z had parents constantly Googling best parenting strategies for your growing miracle. And ours were like, you can play with a knife in your room, just don't smoke weed in the kitchen. Well, I had a pocket knife before I went to kindergarten.
This implies that we had parents telling us to do anything.
Well, you do have a good point on it. The one weekend out of the year I saw my dad when he wasn't down in the lead mines working, yeah, he gave me a pocket knife and taught me how to play mumbly peg or pebbly jack or some ridiculous thing us poor people in the country played.
It's basically, moving the knife around really fast without cutting off your fingers, right?
Yeah.
So it's basically a survival game for us. But yeah, I put a big question mark by this. I don't understand what exactly they're saying.
They would still let you work in the lead mine with a missing finger, luckily.
Yeah.
What is some stuff that you did as a kid and your parents were like, yeah, go do that probably people would be appalled by now if you tried to, like some real stuff?
Okay, so I have 2 examples. One was there was a market down the street, down 2 roads from us, county roads, old county roads, called Waits Market, and then he had a malt shop next to it, and that's a real thing that's not made up. And we used to do our chores, and we'd have like $1.82 or whatever we had, and we'd walk down to this. We'd walk down these county roads.
We have a cat doing something. Something.
We'd walk
Ma'am.
down.
Hey. Come on now. Yes.
We'd walk down these county roads with no shoulders,
Mm-hmm.
and go walk down to Waits Market to spend our $1.82 on malts and candy, and sometimes our parents would also send us with money to go buy cigs.
My parents would send me walking all the way to Ernie's store, which was quite a hike with a couple bucks or $1 for a pack of cigarettes or 2. Yeah, if there was anything left over, I could spend on penny candy or whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely that.
My second example I was going to say was when I was 15 and did not have a driver's license and did not have a driver's permit,
Mm-hmm.
but I had to drive my mom and my stepdad both to work at opposite ends of Arnold, which were there was a little bit of distance, and Arnold was a little bit of distance from our house. I was on state highways taking my mom and my stepdad to work, not daily, but I'd say 3-4 times a week. You know,
Sure,
you go,
yeah.
or you go pick them both up because they were dropped off. You know, because they both needed the car, and yeah, I was the only one.
Yeah. I can remember just being like, hey, going to play in the woods. See you at the end of the day, I guess.
Mhm.
Whatever, yeah. Well, different times, different times. That's when the newsman's all scared of everything. If there's one thing Gen X loves, it's being told who they are and what they should do. That's exactly what we're doing now.
If this person, I guess Mara Wilson, is saying this sarcastically, she's captured Gen X in a nutshell.
I thought sarcasm died with us. And Chandler Bing.
If it lives
We miss
on,
you, Chandler.
it lives on in Chandler Bing. But if you mean it unironically, then you've missed the mark entirely. Mara.
Wow. I don't know how that sounded so disappointed.
Well,
I can't follow that up. You've shamed the woman.
I'm not angry
do better.
with Mara. I'm hopeful that she meant that sarcastically.
I think she did. I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt. It is true that we did prefer individuality, creativity, do-it-yourself. Forgo commercialism. And so, of course, the powers that be turned around and marketed that to us until it meant nothing.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I think that the young people cannot possibly understand about Gen X and older millennials is that our entire personalities were shaped by watching shows that weren't at all for us or even interesting to us just because they were on. Let me tell you what, when you're 6.5 and you watched The Complete Roots, you got an education in history that probably you needed, frankly.
Yeah.
I don't know if you needed it before you hit the 7-year-old mark.
Well,
But we got it.
I would say that I think our personalities were less shaped. They were shaped by that, but less shaped by, I guess, things we watched or things that we absorbed than today's generations that are watching and absorbing like all the time. We didn't have that consumption of, entertainment by screen. We really didn't. When we watched Roots or the Thorn Birds or whatever, it was an event. The whole family watched. It was a big deal. You didn't watch TV every single night. I don't know. And also, we had 5 channels.
If you were rich, you had 5.
If you were rich or you had
your
tinfoil.
family could afford a UHF channel.
And tinfoil.
Yeah, that's true. You wouldn't need that.
And sometimes you'd have to stand there like that.
It is true. We watched a lot less screens, at least. I would say we probably watched more TV, maybe, because that's all we had. But my family watched TV most nights, or a game some nights, or whatever. But
Less
well,
than
no,
now.
there were many nights we just sat out on the porch, talked, hung out. Friends would come. Whatever.
We would go out for rides in the back of the pickup truck. We would go. We'd go to neighborhood barbecues a lot. There were lots of block parties and barbecues and stuff that we went to.
I think the more fun thing to talk about, though, is the stupid crap we did have to watch as a kid way before we should have. Obviously, probably Roots or the Thorn Birds or Shogun is not what 5 to 7-year-olds should be watching, but many of us did.
The Day After probably wasn't a great show for us to watch when we were young.
Not to mention just the stupid stuff, because sometimes there might not be anything on but PBS. Oh my God! Do you remember when you were a kid and your grandma or somebody wanted to watch something on PBS, you already knew it was going to be bad.
Yeah.
Now I love the science stuff on PBS.
Right.
PBS Space Time, one of my favorite YouTube shows.
There were lots of things on PBS that were really cool. What was it? Red Dwarf.
Yeah.
Doctor Who.
That's true. My grandma never wanted to watch any of those. She wanted to watch Lawrence Welk.
Yeah. There was also Lawrence Welk.
What did you see as a kid that you shouldn't have, but hey, it was on, that scarred you the most?
I remember them running The Exorcist on TV and watching that on TV. And my mom, I remember vividly, I remember my mom ironing in the next room.
Yeah.
And me and Barb in the dark in the living room. And we could, you know, just the light from the kitchen kind of, you know, barely shining through. I remember it vividly because it was not something that I should have watched at all.
Why you want to hurt your mama? Yes, I still remember it too. My brother and sister showed it to me and my cousin at about the same age, and yeah, I think it scarred us both for life.
And I believe it was the uncut version.
Yeah,
I remember.
Sure seemed like it at the time, at least. It uncut my mind in twain.
Yes. That was.
My parents, and I think this is true of a lot of our generation, really. I could have read anything. Hey, at least he's reading. I could have read any book I wanted I could get, and my mom would get it for me. But it also pretty much was the same with movies. Like my mom and dad didn't really care what I watched. They're like, he seems like he can handle it.
Yeah. I got to say curse words for the first time because of artistic freedom. Because my parents believed that if it was in a song, I could sing it.
What curse word?
Oh, all kinds of them. Hell. H-E double hockey sticks. Damn.
Samantha Ruddy quips. Baby boomers and millennials are gay communists. I never heard anybody say that. Millennials, baby boomers are racist fascist. Gen X. Have you guys seen Beavis and Butthead? Well, have you?
Yeah, I agree with that.
Look at this.
I'll read this one. I am Gen X. I have the patience of Job. I sat for hours just waiting for my favorite song to play on the radio so I could hit record on my cassette player, only to have the DJ talk over it so I'd have to wait even longer to try again. I can do nothing for days and be okay. That is true.
Yeah, I can attest that we can both do nothing for days and just be just fine.
Yeah.
Did you do this particular thing?
Yes.
Me too.
One of the greatest days of my life was when I got the double cassette player.
Yeah.
Because, you know, then you could mix and do things. It was amazing.
I was good at it. I'd make some rap mixes with some Cool Mo D and LL and all of that together. Mm-hmm. Give them to people on the bus.
Me and a friend used to do me and a couple friends actually used to do them back and forth and make like shows, one person shows. I'd get my siblings in there to, you know, do things and the pets and whatnot. And play the radio and try to capture what I could.
Do you ever remember trying to record a hot new song and you step out of the room or whatever and it comes on and you rush back into the room and you hit record, but you only got like 3/4 or half of the song, so that's what you're just listening to for a while until you finally got the whole thing.
Right. Yeah.
There's several songs I really only know the last, 30 seconds of because some are burning. If you ever got an actual physical mixtape from someone who was in love with you, you're a Gen X. Mm-hmm. Did I ever give you a mixtape?
Yeah.
I think I still give you mixtapes, but times.
Yeah.
Well, you know not exactly. I just send you links to songs, though.
I do like that our daughters kind of carry on the tradition by making their own kind of mixtapes.
I'm sorry, hon.
Oh, that's what I was going to say.
I wonder if the young folks, do they make each other mix playlists now since the Spotify and all that, I wonder?
Maybe. Yeah. I feel like that's what our daughters do in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah. But I just didn't do it from. I mean, obviously, if you had some crush on someone and you're a dude, and you had seen any John what's his name movies, like The Breakfast Club or anything, you were going to make a mixtape and try to give it to the girl. But you'd also exchange one with friends, right? Be like,
Yeah, that's what I did.
Yeah,
that's what I did.
You all had different albums and stuff. You're like, hey, well, we record some of your favorite songs, etc.
Or hey, have you heard this new Chicago song? Oh my gosh, it's so great. I saw it on Karate Kid.
Did you see what was wrong with this one?
I did. I did. I was very taken by this punchy news graphic.
It's missing the greatest generation.
This is such a great picture of Generation X.
It does. By design,
We
by the way. No one ever
out-silent-
mentions that.
We out-silented the silent generation, Dan.
Yeah, by a long shot.
Yeah.
And they didn't even have phones.
Turn
Or
in,
TVs.
Turn in, tune on, or no, turn on, tune in, and drop out. We didn't make it past the first part of those directions.
Yeah. We're like, do what again?
Yeah. See, we were, you know what happened? You know why they missed us? We were in our rooms playing bleak music for a couple years here.
We were, yeah.
And so, yeah. That was, we're masters of
Our
flying
millennials,
under.
the burnout generation. What?
I don't know what that.
We burned out
all-
long before.
Well, this is millennials. This is not.
Better burn out than fade away. That's what I say. Rock and roll is here to stay.
He never says that.
I say it all the time. At least once a day, I will say to someone, usually a young man who needs my advice and guidance, better to burn out than to fade away, brother.
And then he goes on to win the boxing match.
Well.
Or karate match.
Or online
Tournament.
game. This one's good.
Just saw a 20-something girl wearing a Nirvana t-shirt, but with a picture of Hanson on it. A++ Gen X trolling.
Yeah, whoever that girl was is a comedic genius. Claps to her because it really is.
Yep.
Wonderful trolling. I want one of those shirts
I
now, to
do
be
too.
honest with you.
I
I'll
do
see if
too.
I can find one. Greatest band in the 90s, Hanson.
Gen X, and we.
Hanson saved music.
I think we often make fun of ourselves. Wouldn't you agree that that's a Gen X trait?
Self-deprecating humor is a classic trait of
Yes.
Gen X humor.
Yeah.
Also, being funny is a classic trait of Generation X humor.
Yeah.
I'd say so.
Yeah. That was a good dig, Dan.
Thanks, man. I'll let you fill this one because I feel like it's right up your alley.
How in the world was a whole ass generation of 9 to 12-year-olds allowed to read Flowers in the Attic, says Lisa Lucas. And Lisa, I agree wholeheartedly with
What
you.
were our parents thinking about that, man? I even read it.
I read the whole series, and Cheese and Crackers, that is some crazy stuff. That is
Look,
some crazy stuff.
trigger warning. If you're going to read that thing, they didn't have trigger warnings back then.
No, you have to, you just have to kind of dive in, like, as if you have to swim across cold, gray, stormy waters. It's crazy. You're not going to be able to.
Incest has never been more fashionable.
Oh my. Yeah.
Boy, I'll leave it at that.
And that goes with your point, which is.
Parents listen what you read or watch anything they wanted to.
Yeah.
At least they're reading.
Yeah. Yep. Okay.
Oh, here's a long one. I don't think it was a tweet. I just found this when I was trying to find us some, but our final ones. Would you like to read it or you would like me to?
I'll read it. I saw this on a millennials post. I don't mess around with anyone over 42. They built different. Their families had them formally trained in something by the time they were 2. They had keys to the house by age 5, could cook full meals at 7, and were pretty much self-sufficient at 9. They left their house at dawn every summer morning and didn't come back till nightfall, and survived all day on water from garden hoses. They might get a sandwich on the off chance somebody's parents had went shopping. They spent 3/4 of their lives by themselves, with a parent maybe checking on them twice a month. Most of them have evaded at least one kidnapping attempt, and they know 15
And if
different
you're a girl,
ways.
probably more.
And they know 15 different ways to remove bloodstains from clothing.
True.
They're the real fuck around and find out people.
I think that is true.
I think so too.
Yeah.
I think we're
I mean, I think we are because our parents did leave us alone a lot. I mean, we were the latchkey generation. I certainly was one. I mean, that latchkey stereotype was me. Cooking my own food.
I was babysitting at
off.
whoops. I was babysitting at like 10 and 11.
Yeah.
Infant, you know. And I mean, and driving at 15 with no license, and yeah, you were just expected to do it, you know, just whatever you needed to do. And so I think the last sentence is probably correct. I think we're very quietly so, though. Like, we're not real loud about it, but if we get drawn into something, we will
But it
take care of it.
true. But it takes a lot to draw us into something because we like to just be left alone and do our own thing. So
Right.
really,
But I mean,
don't push us too far.
No, because really, a hallmark of the Gen X, you know, the Generation X is we don't care. United Healthcare.
Yes,
who
there's
you
nothing
are.
you have that we want more than our integrity.
That's right.
Nothing that means more to us than our integrity, because we saw people sell out. That's all we saw, kids, people selling out for cocaine and hookers. We wasn't no part of it.
I don't know how many cocaine and hookers I saw in my lifetime.
God, that's ruined that's why so many of our parents were divorced. Cocaine and hookers, I mean.
There was common in divorce courts across the land. But yeah, we do TCB.
That's right.
We do TCB. We do it quietly because we don't want to. We got some Cranberries songs we want to listen to. And we want to, like, you know, bake
Brood
shrinky
to do.
dinks and watch Beavis and Butthead.
I gotta write in my journal.
So, yeah.
we had different experience. Both latchkey kids, but you came home and took care of your younger siblings. I was the youngest sibling by far because I was kind of an accident. So having older parents as Gen X was even weirder because they were even more tired than most of my friends' parents, who were already tired from overwork. But anyway, but I would come home, it would just be me, which had its advantages, I guess, but
Also
mostly advantages.
Mostly advantages, yeah. Yep. Sounds like it.
Yeah.
Sounds like a blast.
But for you had to be responsible for someone other than yourself.
I mean, it was kind of fun, though, because we all did things we weren't supposed to and got in trouble together and didn't get in trouble together because nobody ever caught us. You should hit like.
And subscribe.
You should subscribe, and you should come back, and we'll tell you even more about our generation. And we'll make a bridge together. We'll come together like that, and then we'll all be cool. And maybe we'll get included on that news graph next time.